What's up, homies? It is your homegirl Natalie, and welcome to another episode of the apartment makeover series. These are my new walls. Ah! If this is the first episode that you're watching, there is already episode 1 and 2 out. To recap episode 2, I got some new things for my bedroom, and this really feels like the first time since sophomore year university that I feel like I have my actual room. Even like living in Korea, like I've had my own apartment and everything, but it's like I couldn't do much to it because it was an apartment that I got through my job, and this is like just fully just me. It feels so cozy, dude. It feels so cozy, and it's not even done. So I can only imagine how it's gonna really be at the end. Like I might cry. Because it's so good. Oh god, it is so nice. Moving on. First thing, dude, we started painting, and this was, oh my god. There's so many things that have just taken so much time for me to do in this month, and I've just been so busy. Painting was definitely something that took me out of my life for a week. I took such a long time like getting everything ready, mostly because I was just really scared of like actually getting this done because it's such a big deal, you know? Now my whole place looks like a mess. I think I'm gonna have to do this tomorrow, so I'm just gonna have to leave my place looking like a mess until tomorrow. Now I'm gonna try to save it. First thing I had to do was get a ladder, and luckily in my building there is a ladder that you can use, but the only thing is like you don't know where it is. So I had to go through every floor, and I ended up being on the 4th floor. Hold on. You done? So I actually am kind of scared of heights, but because I just need to do it, I just do it, you know? The moment I started cutting in the paint, regret just came over me. I was like, Natalie, what are you doing? You shouldn't be doing this, girl. Are you crazy? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I cut everything. I cut in everything all the way. So I'm just gonna do today just this whole wall. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little bit scared, but we're already here, so let's go and do it. And that wasn't my only time that I felt regret. There were some other times afterwards. My thought process was like, let me cut in everything and then let me paint it with like the roller to do the first coat. So I refused to give Benjamin Moore any more of my money, and I decided to make my own painting pole, I should say. I didn't want to buy an extender, so I thought Swiffer extends pretty far. I'm just gonna tape this real good. It works. It works. Yeah. Which, by the way, oh my god, this freaking roller sucks. Not only did the metal like come off, that like it started like moving, the metal got loose and it was just like swinging around. There's like that metal thing, and you put like the little foam roller, that thing kept coming out. So oh my god, it made the whole process so much harder. I remember telling the manager like, oh, you know, I think I could probably just buy that like somewhere else. He's like, yeah, but ours are like, you know, good high quality. And I was like, all right. So I bought it. High quality. The paint is, but not the painting supplies. Girl, paint splatter everywhere. No turning back. And now when we got to the rolling part of it, this is where the second immediate regret, and more so I was scared because the wallpaper started bubbling up. The wallpaper starting to bubble up, and that's scaring me a little. I'm hoping that once it dries, it'll flatten out. That's what, girl, that's what I'm hoping. Oh my god, the wallpaper is like coming up. However, my wallpaper does do this when there's a lot of humidity, and then it goes back to normal. Thankfully, I read on this one expat women in Korea post on Facebook. I highly suggest you to join it because it's a really great source of information and just like having people there to connect with you. So anyways, I saw that one girl had said like when she painted her wallpaper, everything started bubbling up and she got really freaked out, but then she like held out and then the wallpaper went back to normal. So I remember that afterwards. And then after I finished painting everything, I was still like, this is fine. We're fine. Because it looked so scary after the first coat. Like, I didn't think like, oh, adding in another coat of paint was gonna be able to help it at all whatsoever. Because the other thing is that the Simply White is supposed to be like a warm white. And even when I did the test patch, I was like, oh, this looks kind of cold. And maybe I should have done some test patches of other whites as well. Because I will say, it's still kind of cold. It's not as warm as I thought it was gonna be, and it's definitely not as warm as like I've seen like in videos and stuff. So from one person who trusted what they saw online, I would suggest definitely trying out different whites on your wall, because depending on how like your apartment or home receives light, I think that's definitely gonna be a factor in what kind of white you're gonna get. I still wish I could have gotten something that's a little bit more creamy, more warm. It does look warmer in the sunlight, but out of the sun, it looks cold to me. What I did is like I cut in the whole of the wall, and then I went to roll it, and cutting in part already had dried so much. By the time that I started rolling, it just became extremely patchy. So I asked my friend, my savior, my homegirl Janet, if she could come and help me out, and she came to help me the day afterwards. I guess now these are gonna be my paint clothes. Janet is coming over right now. We have a lot of things to do. We're just gonna have to time lapse it. So get ready to see this transformed. So yeah, I definitely realized that my walls, I think given the height, you really need 2 people to work on it. So what she did is that she cut in the paint while I rolled it. We worked on the second coat of that wall, and then we worked on the cutting in and doing the first coat on this wall. And I left the back wall as a just in case, because I didn't know if I was gonna have enough paint, because according to that calculator, it said that I needed at least 10 liters and I was buying 8 liters, so I just really didn't know. I left that just in case because my clothes are covering it anyway, so I didn't know if I was gonna actually even need to paint it or anything. I also had bought an extra set of like a paintbrush and the roller thing, because I just figured that after we do the second coat, we have to wait, and then I have to wash it, but it's not gonna be dry, so it's better just to have like a brand new one. Here's your thing. I tried to prepare the Broken Benjamin Moore one with like crazy glue, E6000 hot glue, like put everything, taped it, all that stuff. It really didn't work like that. The second coat, I used that other foam roller, and that one did not pick up paint well either. And for that one, I had to really like use my back, my shoulders, my arms, my everything to just fucking transfer the paint from the roller onto the wall. It was so funny to see like the difference, because like Janet was painting and like she had no paint on her. Meanwhile, I was the one that was rolling and doing all that stuff. Paint everywhere. Dude, this took forever. Like we started at like 12 and then finished around like 7. We had like maybe like an hour to 2 hour of a break. And that was it. My body was broken. Like even my fingers hurt because I was just using everything. Like typing hurt. Yes, I'm wearing the same clothes. I woke up today and I was like, damn, I did like the arm and back workout of my life. But on a positive note, I actually didn't even use up all of the paint. I used like maybe like 75% of the second paint can. So I definitely had enough to paint the back wall. And I did this little top panel. Yesterday I didn't actually paint anything because I was just so tired. But today is different. Today I'm gonna do it even though I am tired. The way I had to twist my back to paint that top corner, like all it was like my toes just gripping onto this metal thing and then like using just the force of my back to like hold myself up. Oh, that fucking hurt. they hurt. I wanna cry, that hurt. When I finally finished painting, that was the best feeling. That was the best mother trucking feeling. I'm done! Overall, I am so happy with how it turned out. The second coat definitely obviously made a difference. Even though white, like I said, is I think a little bit more cold, it definitely has brightened up my space and it looks so freaking good. Like my space just looks newer. I am a little bit scared on like when I'm taking out the wallpaper because I went on TikTok and I was seeing like wallpaper removal after it's been painted, and like a lot of people are like, oh, it takes so much longer to take off the wallpaper because, you know, someone painted it. I hope it's not gonna be such a big deal, but that is for future Natalie to deal with. The other thing is that it's still patchy, and that was because we started finishing like the last coat when it was quite late. So I'm gonna repaint the little patchy parts once it's sunny. Probably not anytime soon because I will be going on a trip next week, but when I get back. But for right now, like it looks good, you know, if you're not looking too close to it, especially to the upper parts. I actually had someone DM me after I had posted up my first episode to the apartment makeover. They studied interior design and they're like, I have just some ideas, I would love to send them to you. And they actually came up with a full-on like plan on how to decorate my upstairs bedroom. Look at this. It is beautiful. So this is all thanks to @Genevieve Marie Design. Thank you so much for reaching out to see if I, you know, could use your help. It's so funny because the way I pictured my upstairs bedroom was definitely in this kind of color scheme pattern thing. I really loved the prints that they had. This was when I was still thinking about using my bed as like a day bed and stuff, but as we all know, I had to move it back. But I really loved the colors that were picked for this, and that is something that I do want to put upstairs. Then I actually asked her if she wouldn't mind to help me possibly figure out what to do with my bathroom. So she had asked me of like, what are some things that you're looking for and stuff. I knew for a fact that I wanted to put up the tassel garland that I used to have here in the bathroom instead. I just wanted it to kind of be like that, like pastel-y, colorful stuff, especially because the tile is so dark and it's so dark in there and there's no windows. So I just wanted something to just like brighten up the space. The other thing was like, I wanted to figure out whether I should like add in a mirror and or have like a poster in the toilet area. It's already quite small, but I was thinking like maybe like a good like funky wavy like mirror would look good. So this was her idea, and it's so crazy because I actually bought a bathroom rug that's exactly like that, and it's in that freaking box of stuff that I bought from Today House back in November of last year. This is exactly what I already had in mind. It's crazy. She did an amazing job. I definitely want to add in some hooks like in the shower, because beforehand how I had it was like towels and everything just kind of hanging in the area where the sink is, but it gets really crowded in there. She has suggested putting contact paper on the sink cabinet, and I definitely am on board with that. She also has suggested to put some kind of contact paper on the tiles. I'm not sure if that would work. However, I recently came across this post on Today House. I'm gonna look into that a little bit more on like potentially buying some adhesive tile to put on the wall. I also really love like the little curtain suggestion that she put up here, and this is something that she was like, oh, Alexandra Gator also had already done like a little DIY to this, and I remember watching the video, so this would look great. I just have to buy like fabric and do all of that. So I'm really excited to work on this because that's definitely an easy DIY that I can show you guys. So that brings us to on Carrot. This listing popped up and I was like, it's the wavy mirror that I need. And the best part was that it was for free $99. I asked them for the measurements and it seems like it was big enough, so I was like, great, awesome. Of course it ended up raining that day, but I went on my little bike and I picked up the mirror. Now the mirror ended up being a little bit different than what I had expected. I just picked up this mirror. It's smaller than I thought, and it also comes with this like iron thing. I'm gonna see if there's any way I can take this out. Something like this. Is that too small? I should have got one that was bigger. I don't know, I thought just having some type of mirror would like make it bigger. Here is kind of awkward because then you see yourself pee and we don't want that. So I think maybe something like this. Should I try to pry this out first? Maybe I should do that. Okay, this came out nice. Oh wait, then that's all I care about. Maybe I can use this to hold it on the wall, or maybe take this out too. Yeah, I guess that's all I wanted. That works for me. Done. So yeah, I don't know if it's too small for the bathroom or maybe it's perfect. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I could always try to find another one. What I could do is do like a little DIY of adding like a border around it, maybe like with some clay or something to make it seem a little bit bigger. So if you want some help in decorating your space, I highly suggest sending a message to Genevieve. It was like above and beyond what I even like imagined what someone could do. Thank you so much, Genevieve, for helping me out. So now we're gonna get into a couple DIY projects that I did for my living room. I don't know if you guys remembered, but I actually made this DIY headboard for my space like years ago. Then I took it down and I was like, I know I'm gonna do something with it, but I didn't know what exactly until I made this piñata for Janet's like birthday / Valentine's Day event. And I was like, oh my God, it would be really cute if I used the fringe for something like that. So I've always been thinking about doing that, but then I just never did it. And then when I got everything for my bed frame, there were these like thick cardboard box things that I was like, oh, this would be a really great template to make that fringe thing. Normally you can just make it with just like cutting out cardboard, and like I'll just show here, it's quite easy. But I was like, let's just try to, you know, reduce, reuse, recycle. The first thing that you're gonna wanna do is cut your shape into the cardboard. So this was pretty easy, but definitely time consuming. It took me like well over 8 hours to actually finish. I know that's crazy, right? But it really did. All right, so I'm just gonna take this and hot glue them over here. I have my little anime, I have my hot glue gun, and this. So let's get started. All I did was just take it from the little headboard and I just hot glued it. Kind of didn't really think about like where exactly I wanted it to go. I just wanted it to be like a very calming experience of just like dee 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 dee. And so I just filled that all up, and I also made sure to do the sides because you would be seeing the sides as well. Working on this like non-stop and I'm still not done. And the best part is definitely cutting it, and you can cut it in whatever kind of shape that you want. This is like always so much fun. And then to attach it, I'm gonna attach it over the breaker because that's one thing that I wanted to cover. And I'm just attaching it with some blue tack. And now I have a whole little visual piece, and it's like the first thing that's on my new walls. So I'm really excited to get the rest of everything sorted and ready to be put up here. So I always knew that I wanted to change out the thing that's holding my disco ball. I just feel like it didn't ever really go with my whole vibe of my apartment, but I was doing what I could with the materials I had at my home. So at first what I did was like I bought this string or cord and stuff, and I thought that I was gonna use that, and I've had it there for years. I just never was like, okay, let me do it. Then I decided, why not make like a huge freaking long tassel made out of the fringe I have from my headboard. There's an actual way of how to make a tassel, but I was using things already cut, so I had to just do it in a different way. So I just had to get the yarn, fold it over, and then get another piece of yarn, wrap that around, and then put it through. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's a really easy process. But I had to make a crap ton of these because I knew that this was like over 140 centimeters, so I had to cover all of that space. This took a long time to do, but it was really nice. I was just doing this stuff and then like watching some anime, so it was a very nice little experience of like these past days of like doing this stuff and doing a whole bunch of other things. So it was nice to just kind of be able to relax for a day, even though I have so many things I have to do, but I knew that I wanted to finish this before I left. And then all you get is a longer piece of yarn, and you just put it through each of the tassels. How I attached it was using these like, I don't know, these like little binder clips that I had. And yeah, and now it looks like this. It looks so good. And now it really feels like it belongs in my space. It also ties in with the pom-poms that I have here and the pom-poms that I have around my whole apartment anyway. So I think this looks so good. I'm really happy I decided to make this change. And now we get to the contact paper situation. So I actually had saved the contact paper that was on my last walls, and I had put it on like my cabinets. And I was really like on the fence of like, I don't know if I should put it back on or not. And I also was scared with like the contact paper, like, is it gonna rip off the paint or something? I finally was like, you know what, Natalie, just put it back on. Let's see how it looks like. How I stand, I really don't know if I should just A, paint it, B, take it off. Kind of weird, but I feel like it looks a little bit darker than it did when it was on the gray wall. I don't know, do you see that? Because I see that. So I'm still on the fence. Let me know what you guys think. It might be off or still on by the time this video comes out, but let me know. And that is it for this video, dudes. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really happy to see that you guys have been enjoying this whole series, and I'm really excited to make more. So I will see you guys in the next one, and that is all. Be safe and take care. Bye.